So are you ready to set yourself up for the best year ever? The best holiday season ever? We've got something for you. First of all, I'm JJ. I'm a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat mostly meat.
And if you're tuning in, you probably eat mostly meat too. And if you do that, you have done so much to help you really live your best life.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more. I'm going to talk about kids here a little. This weekend, we had our play, our musical.
Mm-hmm.
And I work with children in a youth theater group, ages 3rd grade through 8th grade. And something happens along the way there. They come to us 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, maybe even 6th grade. And they are all excited and enthusiastic and just loving their life. And I almost think it's like, we're both big Snoopy fans, right? So they come in and they're like Snoopy dancing, how he's just like jiving around, or he gets really lost in the Red Baron skit,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's totally in his imagination, totally in joy until he gets caught, right? And then he's like, and he sort of slinks away. Well, that's what I see happen with these kids. Once they hit middle school, things get different for them. They start to hold themselves back. They get more reserved. And yes, it's adolescence, right? That's part of our development. But many of us carry that around the rest of our lives.
We carry around the guilty, embarrassed Snoopy within us.
Right, we do. And when we carry around the guilty, embarrassed Snoopy, we do things that don't serve us and that don't serve us living our best life. So I want to take just a moment here. If you ever find yourself, maybe you're doing great in some areas of your life, but in some areas of your life, maybe do you ever settle? Do you pretend? And I don't mean the Snoopy imagination way, but just put on that mask and pretend. Do you ever compare yourself to others? Especially in the food and diet space, right?
Yep.
That can happen. Do you ever hold yourself back? Play small? Procrastinate, worry, self-sabotage, blame, compromise yourself? Do you ever feel like there's not enough time, not enough energy, not enough something? Do you find yourself frustrated, overwhelmed, feeling powerless, disappointed or burdened, bitter, guilty, ashamed, like our Snoopy, or underappreciated? Now, if you do, then there's a sign that you have something running the show that is not your authentic, joyful, childlike, Snoopy, enthusiastic self. You've got some conditioning that, like I said, I usually see with my kids around middle school, where they start to do those things. They start to have those disappointments and hold themselves back and start to play small where they used to play large on the stage. And so what I do with the kids is I really help them hopefully remember who they were when they were younger, so that by the time they leave us in 8th grade, maybe we have that little dip, but then by 8th grade, they're up there expressing themselves fully. And that's also what I do with clients, but not on stage. I don't do that on stage. But what I do is I dig down to the root of what it is that causes us to feel those things and do those things that don't feel great to us, that hold us back. And the root cause of that is in our neurobiology. It doesn't want us to get hurt. It wants to keep us safe. And it is called, I'll just hold this one up, the wheel of fear. The wheel of fear. We are all conditioned to have fears. And that's a good thing because it keeps us safe and alive and able to grow if we're afraid to step out in front of traffic. But what happens is that eventually, again, it may happen younger with some, but by around middle school, I'm seeing where it starts to go awry. And I was thinking about it this weekend. It's almost as if we are all walking around with this helicopter parent, this inner helicopter parent. Now, stay with me on this one for a second. So what happens is maybe around 5th grade, some child makes fun of you. And you say, oh, I don't want to get hurt anymore. I can't wear those jeans because the other kids might make fun of me. Or maybe your parent is really upset with you. You get grounded for the first time. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to disappoint my parent again. I don't want to feel that shame that I felt again. So what we do is we layer on almost like this bubble wrap. I want to protect myself from this wound, and I want to protect myself from this wound. And this helicopter parent grows inside of us. This wheel of fear helicopter parent saying, don't get hurt. Don't step on that crack. Let me take care of you here. Don't do that. And I've got a really great image of a helicopter parent. Okay. Trying to keep this kid safe. And instead of experiencing this, the helicopter parent has the kid tied on her apron strings, everything. She's taking care of everything, trying to control every situation, make sure her kid doesn't get hurt. He's living in a bubble. And this is what we do to ourselves. When we experience those hurts over and over again, we do that to ourselves. We say, oh, I'm not going to let myself stray too far from this bubble or I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to get emotionally hurt usually.
As adults, part of us are going, well, I don't want to be childish. I don't want to be irresponsible. I don't want to be reckless because I have hard-earned wisdom that got me this far, and I don't want to just be oblivious to reality.
Right. Well, this isn't about being oblivious to reality. What we do when we manage that inner wheel of fear, that helicopter parent that's trying to protect us from getting hurt and every uncertainty out there, it's not about being frivolous or childlike, but it's about having that wonder and that awe and that authenticity and that passion and joy for life that somewhere goes, somehow gets laid aside as we move through the world.
Well, I saw your play this weekend. And one of the things that you see with the kids, the younger kids are unguarded.
Yes.
And that's why they're so charming. And they're so appealing is because they're not putting on an air. They may be acting a role, but they're acting it full out.
Yes.
And then you see the older kids, this is what you were saying, is the older kids, because they become very self-conscious, become guarded, and they don't go full out, and therefore they don't even give you a convincing character.
Right. Yes.
What you see is actually the most embarrassing version of them because we're cringing because they're cringing. And it's a mutual cringe fest.
It is a cringe fest. Yes, it can be.
And so I guess what you're saying is that as adults, we do that guarding to protect some aspect of ourselves.
Yeah.
And as a result, what we present to the world is the cringe that we're trying to not show the rest of the world.
Yeah. And, but the thing is, these mechanisms can work for a while. So maybe you're getting through life and you're not cringe, but at some point they backfire.
You could be really good at presenting a persona.
Yeah. But inside, what happens when you're presenting a persona all the time?
Well, it takes a lot of extra energy.
It does.
I know that from having done it for 50 some odd years. And it also is brittle under stress.
Very. There's
when
no
you're trying to
resilience.
project something that you're not, as soon as the stresses pick up, that facade breaks down. And what breaks through is not the pretty, authentic version of yourself. It's some other sort of the weakest part of the nature, the worst, the most negative aspects.
It's usually fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. That's what usually comes out when the wheel of fear starts to break down and our natural response is to be reactive. Yeah. So we're all carrying that around, this wheel of fear around with us. You really can't escape it. And it starts when you're very young. And it's almost stealth, right? We aren't thinking that we've got this piece of us that's going around saying, "Oh, be careful, don't stumble, don't say the wrong thing, don't miss that deadline. Oh my gosh, don't let them see you cry. Don't let them see you having that stress.
Don't be unprepared.
Don't be unprepared. You've got to have it all together to be a grown."
You better jump and shout and wave so people actually pay any attention to you at all. You probably should exaggerate your accomplishments.
Yes.
You might want to completely undersell your accomplishments so you don't seem boastful.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, those are all fear responses that get us hung up in life. And then we get to, usually 40s, 50s, maybe 60s, and you go, gosh, look at this life I built. There are good things, but let's see. But holy cow.
Uh-oh, we're going here.
I'm exhausted, or I'm feeling paralyzed in this one area of my life. Nothing's working anymore that used to work. Or the Snoopy, I feel shamed. I reacted that way, or I let them see a chink in my armor and now I'm shamed or overwhelmed. I'm just plain confused at this point. I don't know what's happening anymore. Impatience. I don't have much time left here. Come on, people. Let's get with it. Out of control. Victimized. Why does this always happen to me? Here I am, 50 years old, and this always happens to me. Or just defeated. Oh my gosh. Here we go again. I've been here before, and here we are again. Or maybe self-righteous.
I like the three-armed one.
Yeah, I know he's one of your favorite. Or just plain misunderstood. I am the oddball. I am the one who is misunderstood. And these are all symptoms that you are on your wheel of fear.
Now, the wheel is not a wheel that you're riding like a unicycle. It's a cycle. It's a process.
It's a psychological sort of pattern.
Okay.
Yes. It's a psychological pattern that, again, develops when we're very young. It's part of who we are. And what happens is, I'll give a really brief introduction here, is that we have this core trigger. It is our biggest fear. So when you're looking at those kids on stage, they already have their core trigger, the ones who are holding back, and they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look like a loser. They don't want to look ordinary. That might be the one who's taking the stage, right? They don't want to be the ordinary one in the back.
They don't want to look childish.
Because
they're still kids, and yet they're old enough to not want to be kids.
Yep. They don't want to look
vulnerable, uncool, out of it.
Yeah.
Basically. Unskilled.
And there's one word that identifies that. One word in Fearless Living. I am a certified Fearless Living master coach. And so this is all based on, let me just say, Rhonda Britton's Fearless Living. Rhonda was a pioneering life coach. There she is. Haha. She is a pioneering life coach, but was one of the ones who started the industry way back 30 years ago. And so she's the one I work with and study with and am now helping her train coaches with as well. And so it's all based on this. It's this psychological pattern, starts with this core trigger that you do not want anyone to think you are. So you have a fear response. And that fear response might be hiding in the shadows, or stepping up and trying to steal the center stage, or settling, or comparing yourself to others, holding yourself back, procrastinating, worrying, self-sabotaging, blaming, compromising yourself in some way, compromising your authentic Snoopy that's still at the center of who you are. So the core trigger, you want to keep hidden. So you engage in that fear response so no one will think you're not cool or whatever. And then at some point that might not work. This does happen in the theater too, when you go to look for something and the prop is gone, or someone drops their line. Something unexpected happens and you had everything all planned out, but now there's this extra stressor or uncertainty that happens, and I give my kids credit. They usually can keep it together on stage, keep the scene going. People don't notice. Backstage, they are not doing well. There are tears. There is blame. There's drama happening backstage because that they weren't prepared for that thing that came up. So a lot of feelings come up. And in Fearless Living with the Wheel of Fear, I'll bring this back up on the screen here for a second. Clear all my guys away. Okay. So we've got the trigger, the fear response. The fear, you weren't prepared, something went wrong, backfired, and now you're in the core negative feeling. And that is the worst feeling for you in the world. It is rock bottom. It stinks. And we try to avoid that feeling because it doesn't feel good either. So what do? We try to numb out. We grab in the past, maybe we grab the sugar.
Yep.
Or
distraction.
Social media can be a distraction.
Self-medication of some sort.
Self-medication. Yeah. You really want to numb out. You want to hide. You want to avoid. And that gets you into this number 4, which is the self-destructive
I
behavior.
could also see like projection. Like this is where you really start blaming, pointing fingers, trying to divert responsibility.
Yeah.
Because you're in your weakest state at that point.
Exactly.
And so you're going to revert to in a way, you're going to revert to the most childlike response.
Yeah. Yeah.
For ego protection.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And then when you snap to and you're like, oh, wait a minute.
And you see the wreckage in your wake.
When you see the wreckage in your wake. It seems to prove that your core trigger was right. You really were stupid or weak or behaved like a baby or whatever that core trigger might be.
So point to it on this wheel here.
The core trigger?
That 4 reaffirms 1.
It seems to reaffirm number 1. And that's how the cycle keeps going. And it is a subtle cycle. Maybe you can catch it sometimes, but maybe you don't, especially when you're unaware of it. And that's why I said, I started the whole thing saying we've all got this invisible person, part of ourselves that's trying to protect ourselves all the time from having these emotional wounds of embarrassment and shame and just being a disappointment or being worthless or not doing enough, not being the person that you feel like you should be.
I want to take a second and talk about the word trigger, because the first time I ever heard this was in relation to your studies with this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And more currently, the word trigger has taken on kind of a different connotation, and people get triggered over the smallest things.
Yes.
And it's somebody else triggering them.
Yes. Yes.
And what I'm hearing you say is that this is an embedded sort of little chink in the armor that when that button is pushed, it facilitates this cycle going again.
Correct.
It's a very different kind of trigger than what is in the popular language right now.
It is. And we can't change the whole language. This has been around for 30 years. She's been teaching this. But we used to just call it the trigger. And now we're trying to differentiate a little bit with calling it a core trigger, because you're exactly right. Trigger has become this piece of language, and it becomes a piece of language where we're victimized. We blame. This person triggered me.
Yeah. And my trigger isn't a problem because my trigger is fundamental morality. And you've crossed the line. Yeah. And that's not the type of trigger you're talking about.
No. This is our protective pattern that we carry. And yes, people do push the button.
I trigger myself. Sometimes.
Well,
for my own entertainment.
That is true. But no, our button is going to be pushed by external circumstances, and that can include other people. Yet we really do a big thing about saying it's not necessarily that person's fault. Yes, you may have to have a conversation with that person at some point in time, but you don't do it when you're here. You don't do it when you're here. It's about having your autonomy and agency intact and your authenticity intact. And so learning how you can manage that trigger. It's up to you. It's your responsibility to manage your trigger. It's part of, have you ever heard of parenting yourself? Like when you
Yeah.
like, this is almost like that.
It's not helicopter parenting.
It's not helicopter parenting though. No, 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 no. But when you become aware of the pattern, you can take personal accountability and responsibility for it and really move out of that middle school type pattern you've probably been carrying for decades.
So if you're going to identify your own pattern, you start with figuring out the trigger?
Usually that's where I start with clients. Of course, I am a master coach, so I can go in at all different directions. But when we train our coaches to do something, we do it starting with the core trigger. And when I work with groups, I often start with the core trigger. Yeah.
And
So-
that's what you're going to be doing coming up on our live stream
Correct.
on the 23rd?
It is on the 23rd at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, which is where we are. Yeah, I'm going to be leading a group. Whoever can join us is welcome.
Right here on YouTube.
Right here on YouTube. It's going to be a live stream, special live stream. And I'm going to lead people through the process where they can identify that core trigger. And then we'll walk through your whole wheel. And the reason behind it, again, is to bring it to your level of awareness, your consciousness, so that you can see when it's happening. And here's the important part. You can pause, check in with yourself, do whatever you need to regulate your nervous system, because I mentioned fight, flight, freeze, or fake, fawn. You might have some nervous system reactions when you're triggered, when you experience that core trigger. And so how do you get back into your body, back to yourself, and check in with yourself, with the authentic you, not the helicopter parent, but you? What do you really want to do? What is really important to you? What do you value? What is it that you want to experience? What is the thing that you want to do next that you've held yourself back from before? Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so this is the perfect time of year to do this because the holidays are approaching and your trigger is going to get some work.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Not only, all the holidays, whether it's family or just disappointment. Your spouse didn't get you the gift you wanted.
Company party.
Oh, a company party.
Year-end nonsense at companies.
Yes.
Compressed schedules because of the holidays at work.
Oh, yeah.
The temptations of all the foods and all the overindulgence. The bittersweet or maybe entirely bitter nostalgia brought on by the holidays. The fact that the holidays don't do what they did when you were a kid, and therefore, while you want it to be that way, it doesn't amount to what you wanted.
Yeah.
I know all of these things because that's my experience. I don't have the answers. She's the one that has not the answers, but the process and the direction.
Well, and it is again, instead of being victim to all these feelings or these people or these events or whatever it is, it's about recognizing you're on your wheel of fear and going, okay, here's the conscious pivot I can make. Here's what I can do to make the situation better for me, or to do self-care after the situation, or it doesn't have the magic anymore. What can I do to create that magic? How can I bring that both with my attitude, but also, can we do different things this year that we haven't done before? So it's all about, again, that autonomy and that agency, that you have the choice to decide and not just sit there and go, well, this sucks.
I think it's really important because as adults in our families, we are in a certain extent, we contribute leadership to how the whole community family operates.
Yeah.
And leadership starts with leading ourselves.
Yes.
And then that gives us enough leverage and enough foundation to actually begin having an impact on other people positively.
Yeah. And you bring up a good point, because in the keto carnivore space, we often talk about being the role model.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You can't tell people how to eat.
Yeah, you can't change grandma's diet until you've changed your diet
Yeah.
for a long time and shown the benefits. And even then, you can't go in there and just knock the donut out of grandma's hand. She's not going to like that.
Not at all.
What in earth are you doing?
Who raised you?
Look what you did to my donut.
Yep.
And you're like, but grandma, it's full of seed oils and sugar and it's
love
poison. And I'm expressing my love by denying the things that you love.
Yep.
Don't you get it? Come on, grandma, get with the program.
Yeah. So it is, but it is, you're right. It's very much about being that model and finding the centeredness within yourself, the vitality within yourself, the resilience to be able to move through this season within yourself, to make those different choices, to not listen to that wheel of fear helicopter protecting you type of thing, and to move through it with a lot more grace and graciousness.
So when is it again?
All right. It is on a Sunday, November 23rd. That's this upcoming Sunday. And it is at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific.
And we will have the replay available. You don't need an invite. You just need to look for it because it's going to be a publicly available live stream. When it's over, it'll probably be reposted as a regular video without the text replay, maybe. We're not sure exactly how we're going to handle that. But I will be present to operate the consoles and check in with the chat. And JJ will be in complete command.
Yes.
This is her subject matter.
Leading you through. We hope you can be there, because we will take questions in the chat. I can help support you in the chat. So we hope you can make it. Like Eric said, if you can't, there is the replay. And just so you know, you might have to go looking for this one, because we are going to confuse YouTube big time by talking about this.
Right. Unless we put keto carnivore in the title and then not talk about it at all. But even then, YouTube knows somehow. They're like Santa Claus.
Yeah. Yes.
If I encourage you to attend, and I encourage you to participate in the chat, because you will be having access for that period of time to one of the top coaches in this particular domain in the world.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh yeah, she went through the certification, she got a rubber stamp, and now she can talk about it on YouTube. No, she created the curriculum by which other coaches are trained to do this. So it is not something that most people get direct access to ever.
No, I don't generally take a lot of private clients anymore. It's been a while. So yeah.
That's because they can't afford her.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So again, I really hope you can make it. Get that helicopter parent, that inner helicopter parent off your back, and start making some new choices so that you can go into these next decades feeling full of vitality and peace of mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like us, you can be every day stronger,
every day more blessed.